Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about STM32 linker file, how to write. Before that, please go through the videos I have uploaded in my YouTube channel. So it will be useful for the further videos. Okay, first we will download STM32 F44 6RE reference manual. I will search it. uh, Reference manual, and you can select the second link STM32 F44.6, and here you can see a documentation part and select the reference manual part and scroll down. You can see the reference manual link and it will show the reference manual. Yeah, now it is downloaded. I will download this and I will store it in download folder. It is downloaded. Now I will cut this file and I will put it into my repository document folder earlier what we have created. Here I will upload so that it will be used in future. Now I will open this reference manual. Now I scroll down. I can see the memory map, memory organization, how it is organized in STM32. Here I can see the memory sections. So total 8 512 MBs, which is a 4 GB of memory space used for STM32 microcontrollers. Going to use flash memory and SRAM sections for a linker file. So here you can see flash memory. It starts with a 0x0, 0x08, and here it says it's almost 2 MB, but for F44 6RE it will be 512 KB. So I will show you where it is mentioned. And SRAM it is at 112 KB and 16 KB. So it is 128 KB of SRAM as a total. And I will explain where the flash memory is initialized. I will scroll up and I will go to flash memory sections, embedded flash memory. Here you can see there are total 512 KB, and which includes this 8 sector, sector 0 to sector 7, 4 16 KB sectors, 164 KB sector, 3 128 KB sectors. So total of 512 KB sectors used in STM32 F446RE STM32 microcontroller. Now I will search Visual Studio Code to add my project. In File, add folder to workspace, and I will select my repository and I will add my complete repository. Now it has been added to workspace. Now you can see all these files are added. Now I will open platform and linker file, linker.ld file. Now we will start writing a linker script. How this linker script will work. Okay, first we have to create a linker.ld file which will be used when we are linking during compilation stages. We will discuss all these things. So first we will add a program entry point. Entry reset handler, meaning entry tells linker which function starts execution, meaning reset handler is the first function executed after reset. Once you power on, it will jump to, it will trigger a reset and it will start executing from the reset handler. Now we will define physical memory sections, defines where the flash exists, where the RAM exists, how large they are. All these things will be defined in this memory section. So first I will define flash memory. So flash, and it is only read and executable. It cannot able to write during runtime. And it starts with origin 0x08000, which we can able to see it in reference manual. I will find it in memory organization. Here you can see flash memory. It starts with the 0x800, 0x08000000 space, comma, and we will mention length. What is the total size? As we discussed before, it is a 512K. Then we will define what is the RAM size. Next, we will define internal SRAM memory, which is a volatile runtime memory used to store variables, stack, and heap variables. Data disappears after power off, and it starts with 0x2 3 zeros and 4 zeros, and length of 128 KB as discussed before, and it is read, write, and executable. So that is why we mention RW and X. Now we have defined a complete memory sections, which is the flash and RAM. Now we will define top of the stack, which is a main stack pointer. So I will create a variable e stack equal to, and I will mention origin of RAM, which is RAM start address plus length of RAM, so that it will point last address of the RAM, which is stored in the first address of the flash, which is a main stack pointer MSP. And I will create a sections, multiple sections. First I will create a interrupt vector sections. Vector, this is the first section I will create. Open braces, keep from the star mentions, from all the object files find ISR and store it in flash. That is the meaning of this keep. Keep we will use because compiler should not optimize, that's why we are using keep. Then we will create a next section, which is program code and read only data where it stores. So I will add dot txt section, open braces, star, which means from all object files find dot text, and star means after text whatever data it may be, it should take. Same way RO data, from all object files find the RO data and store it in flash. That is the meaning. We know all the initialized data will be stored in dot data section, but how it will store, since RAM won't retain data, right? So it will be stored after flash. So we have to fetch that initialized data from flash. So that is why we have to add this line underscore si data equal to load address of the dot data section, meaning the data will be stored in RAM, then it will be stored it in flash. So we have to create a section of data first. Dot data section, open braces, and the start address of the dot data section. Then find from all the object files find the dot data section. The star meaning all the data sections. Underscore e data is equal to end address of the data section, and we have to store this dot data section in RAM as well as flash. That is why we are using at flash. So it will store both RAM and flash. During initialization, it will copy from flash to RAM. That is how initialized data will work. And the uninitialized data has to store it in .bss section. Uninitialized global or static variables, which is global. Now we have to define .bss section, open braces, start address of the BSS section is the current address what it is. Then from all the object files find the .bss sections and place it in RAM. Here one more section is star command, which is used in old GCC compilers. So it will fetch all the global variables and it will store it in common section. During linking time, it will be placed in the respective sections. So this is how linker file will be created. And after linker file, we have to work with the startup file. How all the linker variables are used, how all the sections are placed, how all the variables are stored. Everything we will see in the upcoming videos. Thanks for watching the video. Do subscribe for the channel.